Sophia's nervous fingers fidget as I read over her paper. I scroll over her words with my index finger, an index finger only a little more marked with lines than Sophia's, lying not with more desires or headier life experiences, but rather with more time. Time, the great equalizer, as we are all tethered by time's incredible power. Sophia's fingers will one day inhabit my position, if not as an English teacher, at least as a person of 32 years yearning to make her world a little better. Sophia has stopped breathing. I want to turn to Sophia and scream, "You will die if you don't breathe." But instead, I calmly continue the conversation in my head with Joe Lambert, the force behind digital storytelling. Yes, Joe, like you, I want to help Sophia gain her voice, to feel empowered. But unlike your vision, I am limited by, and here she is again, creeping back into that story, the great leveler, time. I am brought back to Sophia by the paradoxical absence of Sophia, the lack of her breathing. I turn to her and say, "Okay, this is fine, Sophia. But you need to share something about yourself that will help the admissions committee see why they want you, why they must have you. And let me tell you, they do want you. Their community needs you just as much as you need them."
I think the harder part is that it gets really close, it gets really personal to you. Sometimes it feels like someone's reading exactly what's going through your mind, and sometimes we have an ugly side, we have a really nice side, or we have a really just weird side. And writing that down means that you're showing a part of yourself that you haven't shown to your parents or even your friends yet until they finally read your personal statement.
Sophia, what about your love of food? I know that sounds unorthodox, but it's the place I see you for who you are, not who others tell you to be. I think it's the place that this essay should begin, in that kernel of you, that place of love for food. She finally breathes. Sophia says, "How does my love for food answer the prompt? I'm not creative like that. I don't understand, Miss Bishop."
You start small. It's so small and soft, and you the goal I think of these essays is to ask you to extrapolate outwards and to kind of make it bigger, make it more meaningful, connected to the larger world.
Sophia, let me ask you this. Why do you post so much about food? In the pushing and pulling and coaxing of this idea of happiness, something happens. Sophia begins to explore it. It is no doubt partially manufactured, as it is a writing piece for a particular purpose and audience. But the persona and the argument that Sophia develops as a result of this manufactured position is genuine and powerful. I do more talking than Joe Lambert would like, I am sure of that, but the result is a fast-tracked version of his digital storytelling, at least its textual narrative component. And yes, Sophia's story does reframe her myth, and it becomes her epistemology. It excites her, it gives her agency, it empowers her. Sophia's story and our process is an important research method. Soft, if you would like to tag it as such, but oh so big, too, as it tumbles into every student I will hereafter help.
What was it that made that starting point difficult?
Like, you would have to pinpoint where to start it and how the reader will get, like, oh, I want to continue it to read on, that type of sense. And because the thing is, the reader is probably tired from reading like thousands and thousands of personal statements before they reach mine, and so it's like, oh, it's the same thing over again. Why bother to read it until the end? So it's like trying to capture the reader to read it all the way to the end.